I was like, okay, next step, I have to make sure that this ring is like, in copious amounts of researches on like rings
Wow.
and
Yeah.
what type of ring I should get,
Yeah.
all this stuff. So I proposed in her.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Korea Unfiltered. Today's episode is an exciting episode. We have a whole family here today, guys. A whole family, a whole entourage has entered the building. We have two puppies, a wife, and a husband. I feel very lonely at this moment. I feel single. But introducing today's guest, Adisa.
Hey,
Woo!
I guess, what's up? What's up?
His wife and his puppies are on that side of the room right now.
Yes.
Damn. You guys rolled in deep.
Yeah, sure did.
It's a very deep crew that rolled in. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. My name's Adisa Anika. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm 26. I am a digital nomad. And me and my wife, we travel with our two puppies, Aggie and Milo. And it's been a hell of a ride going from country to country with these two puppies and my wife. But we always have a great time wherever we go. So.
This is such a random question, but
Yeah.
as soon as you said you travel with your puppies, do they let you get in the plane with the puppies?
Absolutely, yeah.
Even in Korea?
Even in Korea. Korea's actually pretty lenient compared to other countries, I'd say. I'd say the
Oh.
worst countries might be Japan and Australia.
Okay.
So it seems based off of what we've experienced
Yeah.
or our research. But America is like, everyone has a dog in America. So
And
it's
they're all
maybe a
emotional
little
support
too
dogs.
free. Yes, everyone has the emotional support
Emotional support dog.
quick hack pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, everyone, especially in the West, like you'll see everyone traveling with like little toy poodles. I seen someone with a pretty big dog the last time we traveled, which was pretty surprising. So.
I've seen a samoyed on an airplane before, and I was like, how did that get in there?
Yes.
There's a mosquito flying around, by the
Mogi.
way. Yeah. That's, sorry, guys. I
No, it's
I don't
okay,
know
it's
how
okay.
it snuck in here, but it's flying around.
I'll try to slap
Yeah,
it.
I
It's
try.
okay.
It doesn't work. I just look like a crazy person going like this. And people are just like, what is she doing? So, but before we started recording, we
Yeah.
were talking about how like the world is so small because we went to the same high school, guys.
Yes, had
Isn't that
no
crazy?
idea.
I
That's
kn-
insane.
I did stalk your Instagram because I try to stalk my guest's Instagram as much as I
Smart.
can. And I was like, oh, he's from Philly too. But I didn't tell you until text message. But I was like, oh, he's from Philly.
Wow.
But I would never think that we went to the same high school.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that.
Yes.
That's a small world, honestly.
He was the Philly kids that were ruining our school.
Oh, yes, definitely. And it's really funny because Upper Darby had, like, at least when I was there, I felt like it was predominantly white, but it was so hard to tell. Like,
Yeah.
I would see, like, I had a friend named Sadiq.
Yeah.
Who was
Oh, I
like,
know Sadiq.
You know Sadiq?
He's
African
Muslim, right?
Sadiq. Yes, that's my guy. I know Sadiq. It's so crazy. I think he might have been around either in your grade
was
or
in
a
my
little
French
older.
class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Not too sure.
Ew.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know if I like these coincidences.
So much coincidences.
Wow, I
yes.
do know Sadiq. Okay.
Yeah, totally. Like, I met him through my friend Kanisha. Not name dropping, but
Now we're like, who do we know?
yeah, so we were adding it
Yeah,
up. But
yeah.
we would see pretty much a wave of like white kids go in one direction towards like Drexel Hill, Clifton Heights. I had so much friends that lived in those areas.
Yeah.
And then like the other wave of kids that are going directly on the trolley straight to 69th Street
Yeah.
and straight out to
Straight to Philly.
Pretty much. So
That's literally Upper Darby High School.
Yeah,
It was just a
totally.
mix of everything, but at the
Yeah.
end of the school day, we all kind of separate because we don't come from the same area
yes,
at all.
we don't
yeah.
come from the same areas,
Yeah.
different backgrounds. But interestingly enough, we had some of the most diverse friend groups, I would say.
Yes.
Even now, like when I see some of my friends from high school,
Yeah.
still everyone's very diverse. My cousin Tyler lives in New York now, and like all his friends are like Asian. I have my other friends that are like all their friends are Indian. We have
Yeah.
a lot of Pakistani,
Yeah.
Bangladeshi kids,
See,
a lot
Upper
of
Darby
Vietnamese
was
folks.
good for
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool for that.
Yeah, like there was literally everything and anything in Upper Darby.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Everything and
That's a
anything.
fact.
Even though, I don't know about your year. My year had cliques. We had race cliques going on in Upper Darby.
Really
Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
I think we had race cliques, but we were opening up. I'd say like we were
Oh, yeah.
getting more open with each other.
Yeah.
Like I had so much Spanish friends. One of my closest friends was Hispanic, but then like I kind of noticed how as we got older, more people kind of started mixing cliques. so to speak. I think when I first went there my freshman year, I
Yeah.
could relate to that. We had it was
Because I
very
was there
quick
your
there.
freshman year.
Yes,
It was like
exactly.
my second to last year
For sure.
during that time. Yeah.
And it's kind of just interesting to see how, like, rather it be, I had friends, so many friends that went to Bonner Prendy, and they would talk about like having race wars and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God.
Race
We
wars?
didn't really have, it wasn't that bad racially. in
No, Upper Darby was not.
It was.
I
It
think
was
we all
very-
coexisted.
Yeah,
even
we all
though-
coexisted. It was
Yeah.
pretty inclusive.
Yeah.
And not a lot of bigotry. I wouldn't say a
No,
lot of bigotry.
I feel like we were all just trying to survive high school, so
Yes.
we didn't have
Yeah.
time to like be. Even though I was bullied, no.
Yeah.
I
Well,
didn't
that's
forget
everybody,
that
though.
Part. I didn't forget that part, Upper Darby. Wait, are you gonna go to your 10-year anniversary?
Oh my God, that's a thing? That's 2026 then.
Mine is like I think what this year or next year.
2020.
Or
That's
something?
this year, 2024.
Oh, shit, it is this
Possibly.
year.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'll
Clearly,
go.
I'm not going.
I
You'll
think I should
go?
go. I think I should, but maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I
You
have mixed
clearly had a
feelings.
better experience in high school than I did. I'm just like,
Yeah. I mean, so my area, I grew up in like Southwest Philly,
Yeah.
right? And in my area coming up, I noticed a lot of, I want to call it self-hatred, but I realized now that I'm older the
Yeah.
dynamic of what was going on in
Yeah.
those areas. So I grew up in an area around Darby, in Darby. That's where I grew up. And we were on the edge of like Southwest Philadelphia, Woodland Avenue, all those areas,
yeah.
Island Ave. And around the area in the 90s, in the early 2000s, a lot of kids from Liberia, West Africa were moving in
Yeah.
because of the Biafra wars and
Yeah.
what was going on at their end. I had friends that were like 22, faking their identity to be like 17,
Like,
coming
I'm a
to
kid.
the United States. Yes. Like,
Yeah.
But mind you, they were just coming from actual wars where they were probably had guns in hand, really fighting people.
Yeah.
And then you had like, our neighborhood was predominantly Southwest Philly, so mainly African Americans and or some Cambodians, Hispanics. And like as the African people were moving in, I saw a lot of like clashes between the African community and the Black American community. And me personally, because of my background, I always felt myself in the middle. My father, he's from Trinidad and Tobago,
Okay.
from the islands. My mom's father is from South Africa, and then my mom's mother is from
Okay.
Tennessee. So I'm literally the
how do you have
diaspora.
an Ethiopian name?
I have an Ethiopian name because my father
Yeah.
is, he considers himself a Pan-Africanist,
Oh,
which is
okay.
someone who believes in just African liberation and unity, primarily.
Umar.
And Dr. Umar. My dad is Dr.
Dr.
Umar
Umar.
before Dr. Umar even like was around. Like my dad's
Yeah.
one of those OG guys.
Yeah.
I used to go to like Asha Kwesi, Jabari Osaze
yeah.
meetings and stuff in
Yeah.
Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a very black city.
Very. Very.
And like even as a child, I was in the dessert club where we got to go to Egypt when I was like 12, which was super
cool.
cool. They had a lot of
wow.
programs where they were sending kids to Ghana,
Yeah.
all around the continent, just
Yeah.
because we have a bit of a disconnect as African Americans,
That's
or
true.
growing up culturally, I'm African American, but
Yeah.
technically I'm 1/4
Yeah.
foundational Black American,
Right,
right?
right.
So a lot of times growing up, like I would hang with the African kids and I would also hang with the
The
American
the
kids.
Black
But there
Americans,
was
yeah.
such a like when I was in elementary school, middle school, there was such a huge divide where like you just don't hang with the African
that's
kids
true.
if you were Black
Yeah,
American.
yeah, for sure.
And there was times where like I was, me and my friends would get jumped, beat up, just because I'm walking with the African American kids. We would get beat up by African kids. But then 2 or 3 days later, I'm walking with my African friends, and the Black Americans beat me up too. Like, damn.
Bro, you're getting whooped twice.
Whipped twice, 100%.
Twice.
And a lot of kids was like that in my area where
Oh, God.
their background was
Yeah.
a little bit. I had friends that were half African, half Spanish, half African, half African American. A lot of people were from Nigeria, Liberia, especially
Yeah.
Ghana, these
Yeah.
places. So
Jeez.
my dad always kind of instilled in me a lot of like African pride and to be proud of myself. And I think that helped me a lot growing up,
Yeah.
especially with the circumstances of our surroundings. Like
Right.
Upper Darby High School, Penwood, Bartram in South Philly, but to
Yeah.
Havertown,
Yeah.
we're in the suburbs where all these areas were kind of like a lot of waves on waves of immigrants coming in. And I think that created an interesting dynamic growing up.
That's like an interesting way of growing up. And I'm
Yes.
also already foreshadowing why your parents had a hard time or your family has a hard time accepting your wife
Oh,
already.
yeah.
As soon as you start saying your dad is very into like I was like, yeah, I see where this is going
100%,
for
100%.
sure. But coming back to like you being in Korea right now, how did you
Yes.
end up coming to Korea?
So originally I came because with my wife. I
Oh
wanted to
wait,
meet.
you were married with her before.
Yes, me and my wife has been married since
Oh.
2020. 21, 20? 20. Oh my gosh, I should
They're
know.
both squinting, guys. I don't think they both know. She's also like,
We've been together for about 6 years, and we've
Yeah.
been married for 4 years.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, take us way back then,
Way
because
back.
your wife is a big part of like you coming to Korea, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Okay,
I came here for love. I remember I watched a recent episode,
yeah,
and you were like,
Fabio.
that's so rare. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
there's
And
a
it's
second
true.
person. It's the
It's
second
very true.
person now, so it's not rare anymore. But I just think it's so adorable.
Yeah,
It's so cute.
absolutely.
But take us back to you meeting your wife then.
Yeah,
How
totally.
did that go?
So I was going to CCP,
What's CCP?
Community College of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, there we go.
And as I was there, I met my wife. We had the same computer science class because I studied computer science.
Okay.
So I met her, and she immediately caught my eye.
She's beautiful. I mean,
I appreciate.
wish you guys could see her, but y'all not. I'm just kidding. She's very pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I met her in my CIS, my computer science class, and originally like I was trying to team up with her to do projects and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was trying to cater to sit, it's no real assigned seats or anything. It's
Yeah.
college, so I was
Yeah.
trying to sit closer to her.
Yeah.
And I would keep looking at her to see if she would like notice me looking at her. I wanted to make sure
Yeah.
eye contact was like everything. for
Yeah.
me.
You're just like,
Oh yeah, just kind of looking like, hey.
Do
Or
you
I would always
see?
say hi. And
That's so cute.
I had a good friend of mine who was
Yeah.
in my class named Saeed. He was actually Sudanese. He
okay.
Sudanese, Ethiopian people look very similar.
Right, right.
And he noticed my name, of course. So he was like, bro, why don't you just talk to her? Go talk to her. Like we were like just leaving class because we had a test that day.
Yeah.
And I was trying to finish the test so fast. My wife, not to be a little stereotypical, but
Yeah.
she's Korean, so she finished the test in like 5 minutes.
she was like, I got this.
Literally. And she
Yeah.
left. I was like, oh my God, she's super smart. I got
Yeah.
to hurry up and finish this test.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got done, I walked outside. I was with my friend Saeed, and he was like, just go talk to her. Go talk to her. I was like, all right, fine. And like, I went up to her. I was like, hey, my name's Adisa. I just introduced myself. And she was so nice, which I didn't expect being from the East Coast,
Right.
Philly, New York. Women are very like, I got a man. I
Yeah.
don't want to talk to
I don't
you.
wanna
Or,
talk.
bye. Like, they give
Yeah.
you the dub.
Yeah.
Peace. Peace, yes. But
Yeah.
luckily, she was like very, very nice. And I expected her to actually be from Philly. I didn't know she was foreign. I thought she was just maybe like Philly, East Asian girl,
Korean-American
Korean
there,
American
yeah,
girl, for
yeah.
sure. And when I heard her accent, I thought it was the cutest thing ever. I was like, I gotta talk to her more.
Stop.
So
Yeah.
after that, we just clicked and we kept talking. We would hang out all the time.
Yeah. I'm over here smiling like a
Yeah.
fool, guys. I'm just like all teeth. I'm all teeth right now. That's so cute.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
this, you said what year was this that you met her?
This was 2018, I believe, the end of 2018, so the fall of that semester. Yeah.
Okay, and then so you dated for how many years before you decided to get married?
2 years. Yep.
2
so
years?
2020 is when we decided to get married. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
roughly.
like so different because you guys are actually quite well in
Yeah.
this day and age.
Oh, yeah,
marriage
for
happens
sure.
a lot later in life, but for you guys it happened quite early in
Yeah.
life.
Even my grandma,
Yeah.
my mom's mom, she was like, when I was young, everybody was getting married at y'all age, but you guys are too young.
Yeah. Now anything below 27, 28, I feel like it's
Yes.
young. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my God, you're so
absolutely.
young to get married.
And then there's statistics about how the first person to live to 200 has already been born, which is crazy to me.
That
So I'm
sounds
like,
crazy.
The life expectancy, modern biology,
Yeah.
technology is getting older and older. So
Right.
technically, like 29, 30 does seem pretty normal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
even,
feel like it's
so.
quite normal too. But
Yes.
oh wow, okay. So how did you end up coming to Korea then
So
with her?
originally, I actually was dragging my feet to come here. I was
Okay.
nervous.
Yeah.
My wife, she wanted to come to Korea way earlier. She wanted to, just see her family. She was getting a bit homesick, which is pretty normal.
Of course.
I could relate. And
Yeah.
basically, as we were getting towards 2023, we were like, okay, that's it. We gotta go.
gotta go.
This has been way
Yeah.
too long.
Yeah.
And even at that point, I was getting kind of anxious. Like, all right, I want to hurry up and go. I want to see her country.
Yeah.
Get to know the culture better, the people. And to my pleasant surprise, when I came in March of 2023 last year, everyone was so welcoming. Like,
Okay.
I do martial arts. I practice jujitsu.
Yeah.
And I went to T-Mad. Shout out T-Mad. I still train there now.
Yeah.
And everyone is so nice, so welcoming. I mean, like, everyone who can speak English, they try to speak to me. It's Busan, so not as much people speak English, I guess, as in Seoul.
Yeah.
But everyone always goes out their way to like make me feel included and welcome there. And it was the same thing with her family. Her family was just extremely nice.
Yeah.
And I almost felt bad because there's certain aspects or certain dynamics of my family that might not be as welcoming as hers.
Of course, yeah.
Not to say my family doesn't love her. They love me too.
Yeah.
But I just, I totally felt a much more welcoming vibe.
With her
100%
family.
with her family.
Okay.
That's actually why I commented that.
Oh,
day,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Oh, wait, I didn't tell you guys how I ended up getting
Yes.
this interview with Adisa. So on the video of Lexi, I believe it
Yes,
was
with
Lexi.
Lexi, yeah.
She was talking about, was it the one she was talking about the kids, or the one that she was talking about being married to a Korean?
Being married to a Korean man, I think.
Being married to a
Yes.
Korean man, and her husband's family completely accepted her 100%. And you had commented that you had a little difficulty with your family, not her
Yes,
family.
not her family.
And I found that so interesting because usually it's the Korean side that's a
Yes.
little difficult to
Yes,
accept,
for sure.
especially when it's a black person, right?
Mhm.
But for you, the Korean side completely accepted.
Yes.
But then
100%.
your side of the family had some hesitation.
Hesitation,
Right.
100%. And it's more so my dad's side. My mom's side is very welcoming. They're African American more
Yeah.
so on my mom's side. But on my dad's side is they're Trinidadian. Trinidadians are very similar to Jamaicans, but more mixed with Indians, I guess per
Right,
se. And
right.
they're very loud, brash. They don't hold their tongue, right? So. There's certain times where my wife might take something to be offensive, but they're really just being like themselves.
Yeah, yeah. That's just how they speak.
This is just how they speak.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of gauge and, maneuver that, which I would say definitely helped me grow over the years, where you have to realize, like, as you're getting older, like when you're young, you think of your parents as like total superheroes,
Oh,
total
God.
rock stars. I know I did.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yes, I thought my parents were like perfect. Like
Yeah.
no one could say anything about my dad, especially my dad, because he was so impactful on my life. And as I got older, I realized, oh my God, my dad has flaws. What? Like he has certain,
Yeah.
aspects of himself that are just like me that I have to work on within
Right,
myself.
right.
And over time, I kind of realize that socially there's a lot of ways to be mature in certain situations with dealing with your family and with the dynamic between your wife and your family,
Right.
and there's ways to be immature about it, and I had to really learn and grow how
Yeah.
to maneuver these things. So
Okay,
felt like an uphill battle, but it
You're
worked
here.
out. Yes, we're here.
He's here now.
Oh, yeah.
Take me back to the first time you introduced your wife to your family and she introduced her family to you. And how long into your dating did you introduce her?
I think I introduced her to my family maybe like about 3-4 months. And what do you think, babe?
That's so early.
4 months? Is that early? That is probably
That
very
is early.
early, 100%. But again, I was so immature. Like at that time,
Yeah.
I think when we met, I might have been like 21.
Yeah, that's quite young.
So young. Like I didn't know anything.
Oh my God,
really.
that's so early.
Like to say that I had like a long dating career would be a lie. I don't think I dated much.
Right.
Like I always about a year and maybe
A year makes sense.
about a year.
Okay, yeah.
Probably.
A few months
Maybe
in a
that was
black
too fast.
household is very early.
Very early,
Very
100%.
early. I think
Probably
even in
about
a
a year.
Korean household, that's early. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Like no cap, probably about a year.
Yeah.
And like originally, I didn't even introduce her directly to my parents. I was living with my aunt and uncle in Fishtown
Okay.
while I was going to CCP.
Yeah.
And I was always around my
Yeah.
aunt Carol, my uncle George, and my cousins Ariana, Little G.
Yeah.
So they were very welcoming of her. Even now she still loves my aunt Carol and
Yeah.
all them. They're my African American side is very much they're mixed too in their background, so
Right.
they're much more open
Right.
to, I guess, interracial marriage, right?
course, yeah.
But I originally introduced her to my aunt Carol, my uncle George. I had her come over for like Christmas stuff like that, which
Ooh,
was
okay, that's
really
big.
nice. You got
Yeah.
to like, kind of experience an American Christmas. Halloween. I remember our first Halloween.
Yeah.
We went trick or treating around like Fishtown area. She got to see all the little kids and stuff.
That's so cute. Yeah.
Those were really good memories, I remember. And eventually, when I introduced her to my parents, my dad was very, not too open,
Yeah.
but my mom was, for sure.
And what made your dad not open?
I think my dad, it's really hard to narrow down exactly why, because if I'm being honest, my older brother, he's been married for years.
Okay.
Like, he's about in his 30s.
Okay.
And he's not very open too much with his wife either. but that has its own dynamic. I don't know.
He's not open with his wife? What do you mean?
Like open meaning like he doesn't. So for example, my older sister,
Yeah.
she had different partners dating and
Right.
stuff like that over the years.
Right.
And anytime she brings a guy, my dad's talking with them for 3-4 hours. They click really fast, and I
Right.
don't know. Maybe it's because they're girls, right?
Could
or
be.
maybe it's because she's Asian. I don't know. It's hard for me to exactly narrow
Point it
down
out.
why
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I do know my dad. He can be. He's a business owner. He's very. He came from Grenada. He came from poverty, and he's very successful now in his own right. So I think that has to do a part of what has to do with like him being kind of like cold sort of at certain times. Like he can be a hard guy to get along with.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
certain aspects. So I think it's hard for me to narrow down exactly why,
Why,
but I
yeah.
have my suspicions.
Oh,
Of
I have
course.
my suspicions also.
Yes, 100%.
Because I'm just thinking about Dr. Umar,
Yes,
the way he
yes.
talks about interracial marriages, and I'm just like,
So crazy. And
does it matter?
in my
But-
opinion, like
Yeah.
when it comes to Pan-Africanism, because I do consider myself a Pan-Africanist. I
Right.
want African unity. I
Right.
think that Africa has been a lot of times leached from the West in regards to
has.
our resources and stuff like that.
Right.
But at the same time, Africa is the most diverse continent on the planet. Like when I was in school, I was studying anthropology and history as well.
Okay.
And what I noticed is Africa being the most ethnically diverse place on the planet, all humans, if they do in fact come from the African continent, then to truly be a Pan-Africanist, then you should be a Pan-humanist. Because if all humans come from Africa, then that means East Asians are technically a part of
From
the
Africa.
African story.
Yeah.
So are Europeans.
Yeah.
So are what Dr. Umar would say is, the white man. I
The
think
snow bunnies.
the snow buddies, they're also a part of the African story, and you
Yeah.
can't deny them of that if you're, aligning with modern science and
yeah.
what has been proven, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it's like I think to unite Africa is also to extension to unite humanity as well, because that's all we want. I think I always say when the aliens come, they're not going to care what skin color you are.
They're
They're
not.
just coming, right?
They're just taking everything and anything.
Anything
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
So I think it's like kind of disingenuous to try to separate 100% from other races when Africa in itself is so diverse as it is. So
It's funny. You just
Yeah.
made me remember. There's this clip of Dr. Umar talking about like his trip to Africa, and he was saying like,
Yeah.
"Oh, if you're not black, you can't. If you're not African or black, you can't get on this trip." And somebody left a question saying, "What if you're like white and you're South African? What happens then?"
Yeah.
And he couldn't answer
yeah.
because it's like. They're
And
considered African
they're
too.
considered
if
African
you're
too,
from
yeah.
South Africa and you're white, So that's what you reminded me of.
Yes,
And how was
definitely.
it her introducing you to her family? How
So
was
when
that?
I first met her family, I remember coming into the airport and her little brother Junha, who is like insanely tall.
Yeah.
That's another conversation. But he's
Yeah.
so tall, and I just remember spotting him
Yeah.
and her sister Mika with these cute signs like "Welcome, Adisa." They wrote my name in English and in Korean, and they wrote her name "Welcome, Miju" in
Yeah.
Korean and in English. And I
so
was like, "Oh
cute.
my gosh." It
That
was so
whole
cool.
sign and everything,
Literally,
that is adorable. Yeah.
And then like we took the train. We went to, I believe it was a hotel in Seoul. That's where we first stayed. But
Yeah.
then the first place we went was Gangwon-do,
Okay.
which was pretty cool. That
Yeah.
was like probably a few days after we got there. And when I finally met her parents, which was like about a week in my
yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
We took the train to Busan, which is dope because I just saw the
The
Train
movie?
to Busan movie. I
You
was
said
like,
it, and I thought about the movie immediately.
yeah, oh
Train
yeah.
to Busan.
I was like, please, no zombies right now.
Yeah.
But I remember going to Busan, being like super excited, and I just noticed how beautiful Busan was, even Seoul as well. But just the amount of like the landscape, the mountains with the big buildings, it was
Yeah.
like, this is so California.
Yes.
Like, no, Miami is not the best comparison because Miami's so flat.
Yeah.
It's very flat land, but California is like the Busan of, Busan is like
Busan
the California
is beautiful.
of Korea.
Yeah, yeah. It's
100%.
definitely like, the best destination to be in
Yes.
Korea, but
yes, like I
it's-
love Haeundae and the
Haeundae is
beaches
nice. Yeah.
and like the palm trees, the vibes. It's just so nice to me. And when I met her parents, her mom and dad were just like super nice.
Yeah.
I was terrified of her dad.
Why?
I just had my own assumptions, getting caught in my
like
head.
before ever meeting her parents, did you
Yeah.
have any like worries? going into it?
I had worries. So YouTube, I went on YouTube. I
Oh,
was watching
the-
podcasts like
What's
yours
his
about like dating, being black in Korea or being
Yeah.
white.
That's
in
gonna scare
Korea.
you.
That scared me so much. So
Yeah.
I think I had a lot of preconceived notions. But once I got to Busan, I mean, it was really nice. Her
Yeah.
whole family was very welcoming. Her parents were insanely nice. They took us out everywhere. They showed us around, which was really
Yeah.
nice. I stayed with her family actually.
That's so
that
nice.
was
I
really
saw
cool.
you proposed in her house.
Literally, yes. Because I wanted to make sure I asked. I know her family's Catholic, and I
Right.
wanted to respect their traditions. I grew up with like my religion is technically Ma'at, but I
Oh,
also
okay.
I consider myself Semitic because of my ancestry DNA. Me
Right.
and my wife actually did ancestry DNA
Okay.
a few years back, and I noticed like I'm like Ethiopian, I'm
You're
Igbo,
everything. Yeah,
which
you're
is
gonna be everything.
both like West African Jew and East
East
African,
African.
Jew. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I guess I gotta embrace certain parts of
So you
those
got
cultures. Literally,
The Star of David, it's
Star of
called, right?
David,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I noticed it on the screen. I was like, oh, is that the Star of David?
Yes,
Yeah.
totally. And I think a lot of Black Americans don't really know our lineage, so it's important to us. And
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I respected her family's traditions as well. So I made sure I asked her father's hand. I went out to eat with her mom and dad.
Yeah.
And
Without her?
Without her, 100%. And I
Okay.
asked for her father's hand, and that was probably the height of how nervous I was being on that trip.
Yeah.
And he gave me his blessing, and I was like, okay, next step, I have to make sure that this ring is like in copious amounts of research. So like rings and
Yeah.
what type of ring I should get,
Yeah.
all this stuff. So I proposed right in her living room
Yeah,
technically,
yeah.
but like I did it in a way where all her family was there.
Could see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like her mom had invited all her family. Me and her mom, we were the co-conspirators. We
That's the
planned out everything.
perfect team right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Me and mom planned out everything, and when her family came over, I timed it perfectly so that I can propose to her.
Yeah.
In a really nice way.
That's so sweet. Biju, did you
Worked out.
suspect anything was going on? Like, were you like something is gonna happen?
That's a funny story too. So
Because I'm guessing there's too much movement happening. She would notice something.
too much movement. She kind of noticed.
Yeah.
I will say that.
When you were coming to Korea, did you have it in your head that this is the woman I want to marry 100%?
Yes, totally. 100%.
That's so
Definitely.
cute. Oh my God. Okay.
And after we ate,
Mm-hmm.
we had a really good time. We actually went on a cousin's trip with all her
cousin's
cousins, with her
trip?
mom's side, technically, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that was so fun
Cousin's
because her cousin, when I was in Korea,
Yeah.
so just last year when I was in Korea, her cousin had got married,
Okay.
and we went on a cousin's trip, and during that trip, I got to meet like her husband as well, which is
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they were around our age, right? Isn't she our age?
What's up with everybody getting married so
Am I
early?
crazy? She's like our age, pretty much. She's like maybe a year older or younger or early. Yeah, like there's like a slow
Girl.
wave of people marrying earlier, but it's hard
I think
to
it's
tell.
I do think it's because you guys are Gen Z. I
Yeah,
think it's the
yeah.
Gen Z. Millennials are getting married like later.
Later,
Yeah, but Gen Z
100%.
for sure. I have noticed like a lot of 21, 22-year-olds are getting
Yes.
married, and I'm just like,
Yes, like even my best friend has a kid now, and he isn't married yet. But I'm like a child in my head is like a bigger commitment.
that's a
you know?
way bigger commitment.
So
yeah.
I'm like, wow, we're really all jumping the
Y'all
gun.
doing it. Y'all really doing it out here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Well, in that.
Yeah.
The cousin's trip?
The cousin's trip, that was really fun.
Yeah.
We went to, where was that?
Gojedo.
Gojedo. Okay.
I've never been, but I've heard.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It was gorgeous. I mean, right near, I guess that was the ocean. It was so beautiful. And we had a lot of fun, a lot of drinking. I mean, we must have bought, I think there's a J Park brand of
The
soju.
one soju?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they had like 25 bottles. I'm not a huge drinker. And
First of all,
I
not
was like,
even the drinking. Do you know how much one bottle of that soju is?
oh my, I have no
Because y'all
idea.
spent a lot of money for sure.
They
then.
did.
Because
I know
one
they
bottle is
did.
like 15,001 or even more than that sometimes.
Whoa, I didn't even know that. See?
Because a normal bottle is like what, 3,001?
Soju?
Whoever was buying that
Yeah,
soju is
probably.
rich. That's
Oh
all
my
I'm
God.
saying.
They bought
Yeah.
so many of them. And I remember like helping them load out the car when we first got on the trip. I'm like, all right, I got to make sure I'm in the forefront helping
Yeah.
with everything.
You got to try really, really hard, of
Yes,
course.
trying to
yeah.
impress everyone.
Yeah,
And I'm like, how much are they going to drink? And then I remember like the cousins trip towards the end.
Yeah.
Looking in the fridge, I'm like, they drunk all these bottles of soju. Like, where did it all go?
That's Korea for
I
you.
was like mind blown because like in America we drink, but I was like, this is next.
Yeah.
level.
America is like casual drinking.
Casual drinking.
Yeah.
Yes. And like even these days in America, like me personally, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a big drinker. I think it really like it makes me lose weight, and I desperately am trying to gain weight.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
I always try to avoid alcohol, but like when her dad wants to drink, I always drink
have
with him
to.
because I don't want to be
You have
disrespectful.
to. You can't say no. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. So
When you were, sorry
Yeah.
to cut you off real quick, when you were about to ask her hand in marriage from her dad,
Yeah.
did he make you drink?
No, we actually didn't drink that day. That was
Oh.
like kind of like lunchtime. We went there,
Okay,
so
yeah.
he didn't make me drink then. But that night we drunk and we talked for hours.
Okay, because
Yeah.
it's usually, it seems like a culture in Korea when you're getting married to someone, they make you drink a lot of alcohol. Like the father will make you drink a lot of alcohol to
Yes.
see how much alcohol you can hold. That's what I've heard. It's like a
I've heard that
culture
about
here.
Russians too.
Yeah, even
Yes,
Russians will do the
100%.
same thing. So
Very
that's
cool.
nice of him not to, do all that.
Yes. Oh yeah. He kind of
Yeah.
respected that, and he saw like he knows I train really hard. Like I try to go to jiu-jitsu as much as possible. But
Right.
when I'm traveling or if I have work, I kind of I can't go to like every day.
Right.
But
Right.
I try to go as much as possible. Even back home, like I do jiu-jitsu at Daniel Gracie's gym. Shout out to them as well.
Yeah.
And at Daniel Gracie's in Philly, like, I mean, my jiu-jitsu instructor, V, she will tell you, I'm always missing jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm never there as much as I should be because
Yeah.
of just work or life or
Yeah.
whatever's coming up. So I always try to make an effort to just train really hard. And he respected that, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Nah, I'm not gonna dose him out with too much alcohol."
That's actually
It's
so
pretty
nice
cool.
because
Yeah.
I've heard those stories about
yeah.
getting just bottles on bottles being
Yes,
pushed towards
definitely.
you and whatnot.
And like her dad likes a lot of rice wine. Like I remember in the
Makgeolli, yeah.
beginning I didn't like it, but now I kind of
You like it?
developed the taste for rice wine. Yeah,
it tastes like
100%.
spoiled yogurt. To me.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, there
Yep.
we go. I'm not the only one who
You're not
thinks
the
that.
only
Yeah,
one, for
I do
sure.
enjoy it now too. I do have to say.
Yes.
But at first I was like, this tastes like spoiled yogurt.
Yeah, it for sure grew on me. That's for sure.
Maybe we're just getting older.
Yeah. getting a
Maybe
little
that's
older.
why. Yeah. What do you think about soju? This is random too.
I like soju. So it was funny because the first time my first introduction in like Korean culture, so to speak, aside
Yeah.
from my wife,
Yeah.
was I think after a year or two after we started dating. There's a place called Banchan's in West Philly, and they had just opened. It was
Is it a
only
chicken place?
It's a chicken
Okay,
place,
okay,
double
yeah.
fried chicken.
Yeah.
Amazing. They had one in Chinatown for the longest in Philly, but then they opened up a Banchan's in West Philly, and I was there for the grand opening. Like I
Ooh.
like was one of the one of the first people they hired.
Wow.
Which is so cool.
That's
So
actually really cool.
I got to learn like what tteokbokki was,
Yeah.
japchae.
Oh, you're making me hungry.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I got to learn about like different types of Korean foods, and while I was a server there, it was really cool because the manager would get us blasted. I probably shouldn't tell him that. Don't get him in trouble. But
I could also bleep out the restaurant name. if you
yeah,
want.
it's no big deal. I don't think he would care.
Yeah.
He,
Free promo
we were all
anyway.
21, so it didn't matter.
Okay, if you're
Yeah.
an adult, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
we were 21.
It does
we were
not
21
matter.
at
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would get blasted on soju after our shift, and I remember like I would have to leave at times I was like, I'm going to leave my car parked here and just take an Uber because he
Smart.
just got us so drunk,
Smart.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
yo. Those were like probably my first experiences drinking soju, and I remember it being so potent. But now I drink soju, and it's like I
You don't
feel
taste
like
it.
I feel like it's so much watered down, or maybe I'm getting older.
You're getting
like
older.
You said. Yeah.
For sure, getting old. It is not
100%.
watered down.
I'm like, wow, what?
I can't.
It
do
don't
soju.
taste like when I was 21, because it's weird. Before I was 21,
Yeah.
I would drink so much, like from 18
You
to
know
21.
what? That's most Americans.
Is it? Oh
yeah,
my god.
that's most Americans. When you're under 21, you're like, because
Yes.
nobody wants you. It's like, you shouldn't drink before 21. Everybody's like, I'm going to drink
Totally.
before 21. It's always like that.
100%.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when I turned 18, I was like, I'm getting blasted. Because like I had cousins in Trinidad
Yeah.
and I had cousins in South Africa.
Who
They're
are all
already drinking.
drinking,
I'm
yeah.
jealous. I'm like, I want to drink.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And drinking back then is such a different experience. That like drinking now, I'm like, I'm kind of drunk.
Yeah.
maybe.
Now you're like, I can go home now.
Yes.
I'm done here.
Literally.
Yeah. Back then it was like, let's get wasted.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
100%.
now when you're older, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
get wasted?
Totally,
Yeah, I feel that.
totally.
Also, please drink at the legal age.
Yes.
We're just
please.
telling our stories.
I'm not condoning anyone to drink
Yes.
under 21.
Do you, boo? Okay, like we're not being like, yeah, drink if you're young. Where were we? She introduced you to her family. You
Yes.
asked for her hand in marriage. You then got engaged. And how was her response?
She immediately started tearing up and she was really
Oh my
happy,
God.
cheesing.
Yeah.
And I bent the knee,
Mhm.
like Game
As
of
you
Thrones.
should.
Of course, I bent
You
the knee.
should.
My dad, growing up, it was funny because my dad always say, "You don't fall in love, stand up in love. Don't bend the knee for a girl." Blah, blah, blah. It's Trinidad. I'm trying to make his accent.
Accent.
Oh my gosh! But
Aw,
I
yeah.
bent the knee. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna stay traditional to it, and I bent the knee. I proposed to her, and she said yes. I was like,
Were you nervous
Wow.
that she would be like, nah?
I was actually
Could you
nervous.
imagine? Nah.
Like slightly nervous she would say no for
Yeah.
sure. Like I was like maybe 60-40.
So you guys got engaged, and
Yes.
did your life change from being like dating to being engaged, like family wise, your life?
Commitment wise, family wise, in a lot of different ways, because at that point I started shifting into thinking about, so where are we going to be 5 years from now?
Yeah.
Where do we want to be 10 years from now? And like kind of like really accepting or fully digesting the idea of being with her for the rest of my life, and
Yep.
what does that really look like?
Yeah.
What do I really want out of life? So
Yeah.
I think when I did propose to her, that's when I really started getting insanely serious about my career. I think prior to that, like I might have had like 4 or 5 jobs,
Just
busting
switching
my-
around?
switching around,
Yeah.
not really caring too
Yeah.
much. But now I'm much more focused on my career. Like right now I'm a project manager for an energy company within the
Ooh.
United States, and
Okay.
I have the luxury to be able to travel, work from home.
Yep.
So I wanted to really take advantage of that and see the world. So that's why I decided to become a digital nomad.
With your
Actually,
wife.
was after
Yeah.
proposing and
Uh-huh.
getting engaged, and
Yeah.
I was like, well, you know what? I'll really focus on saving my money, finances. I'm big into Bitcoin right now.
Oh my
all this
God.
stuff. The market just crashed. like
Oh,
they
no.
said. They're calling it Black Monday.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh no. Oh no. Hopefully it goes up.
Hopefully it goes
Hopefully
back
it
up.
goes
This
up,
is
yeah.
a good buying opportunity.
Yeah.
When everything's low, you buy. When everything's high,
You
you
sell.
sell.
That's just
Exactly.
how it works. That's
Yep.
just stocks and whatnot.
That's stocks.
Uh-huh. And how has it been being a digital nomad, especially traveling with your wife and your puppies?
Yeah, it's been really great. Like, it's definitely like even right now, like tonight I have work at 8, right? Because I'm working
Oh
on
my
Eastern
God.
Standard Time.
Oh
So
my
you're
God.
talking a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, and that's if you don't have like full control over your schedule.
Right.
Pretty soon I will have more control over my schedule, so
yeah.
I can't wait for that. But as of right now, yeah, I work Eastern Standard Time, so it's a lot of just making sure I'm getting enough sleep during the day. I sleep in all the time, which I'm such an early morning person,
Yeah.
so sleeping in is not normal for me. I'm like, I can't believe I slept till 11. I feel so bad. Oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
a lot of times, it's really just being disciplined, knowing like how long I can stay out, knowing what you can and cannot handle, for sure. Traveling makes it feel like I'm never, at home working. It makes me feel like I'm at a never-ending vacation.
Yes,
So
I
I have
bet.
to really be like a little bit more on top of myself.
Yeah.
Like, all right, hey, we got to call it quits. I need to go do this or do X or Y.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I would say that's the biggest con,
Right.
is having to stay up super late. But pro is just being able to travel with my wife and my 2 little puppies.
Yeah.
Like our family unit now.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That is a
it's
family.
been really cool to just like see different parts of the world. My last continent that I can go to that like I haven't been to yet would be Australia, New Zealand, technically.
Okay.
So after New Zealand and Australia, only thing left is Antarctica for me.
Are you
So
gonna go to Antarctica?
maybe, but I need 10 grand. That's what.
You
that's
need
what
10
it is.
grand to go to Antarctica?
Yeah, one of my wife's in-laws went
Yeah.
to Antarctica with his wife, and it was like he told me personally it was like 20 grand for both of us.
Oh, that's
And
a
I don't
lot.
even know if I want to go to Antarctica.
Do you even need to
'cause
go
it's
that
like,
bad?
why do I
Like,
need to go?
You don't need
Yeah.
to go.
Oh yeah.
You really don't need to go.
So I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I don't need to go to Antarctica, but
Wow.
yeah, that would be the last continent for sure. So
Can you name all the countries you've been in so far?
Yes.
Oh, can you
Since
try?
I was a child, I guess.
Since you started becoming a digital nomad.
Digital nomad. Oof. Okay. So this is pretty recent because again, last year was literally like when we first started
Oh,
digital
okay,
nomading.
okay.
So this is really recent. Like,
Okay.
literally, I would say Egypt, England. My aunt lives in England, so that's
So it
like
was easier.
is easier. I have an
Yeah.
aunt there and I have an uncle there.
Yeah.
My great uncle, which is my grandma's brother. I've been in Namibia because of my
Oh,
family
I want to
there.
go to Namibia so
Yes,
bad.
like
Oh
when
my
I
God.
say when I say my mother's South African, I
Yeah.
really mean Namibia, but no one knows Namibia, so I always say
Nobody
South
knows where
Africa.
Namibia is
Facts.
unless you're or from Africa or you have
Yes.
somebody from Africa.
And
Yeah.
like prior to 1990, South Africa and Namibia was like like the same country pretty much citizenship wise.
Yeah.
So I have been to South Africa and Namibia, Egypt. I've been to England. Let's see, Canada, Trinidad, which is technically South America.
Yeah.
I've been to Grenada. I've been to Jamaica for my older brother's wedding, which was really beautiful.
Ooh,
That was dope.
okay. That's a nice
That motivated me to not want to get married in the U.S. I was like, I'm gonna get married somewhere tropical.
Destination, yeah,
Yes, like a
destination
destination
wedding.
wedding
Yeah.
for sure. I'm going to Japan in September. I'm going to see Nas. He's
Isn't Nas coming to Korea this month?
Is he? Oh well, he's
You guys didn't know? He's coming to
such
Korea.
a Virgo. Oh my god. I
No,
love
the
that guy.
Rap Beat Festival.
I
He's the one
didn't know.
headlining.
I'm going then. Wait, when is
Yeah,
it?
you're going to Japan just for that when he's coming to Korea?
That's crazy. I didn't know he was coming to Korea.
If I'm not wrong, I don't think it's this month. It might be October or September.
Oh,
But he's coming. He's the headline of this like
that's
hip hop festival.
hilarious. Because I literally like around like when we were planning
Yeah.
to come to Korea
Yeah.
like early this year or last year, I was like, you know, my birthday is September, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh, Nas is a Virgo too. And I was like,
Yeah.
I want to go to Japan for my birthday. And then I looked, I was like, oh
He's
my
in
God,
Japan.
look, Nas is going to
He's in
Japan.
Japan.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So Virgo telepathy, I always say, but yeah, he.
I don't know too much about what is it called?
Astrology.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that. Yeah,
It's good. It's all, it's 50-50. It's either all BS or it's like
Facts.
or it's actually facts. I don't know. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
reading it, I'm like, that's pretty spot on.
But sometimes you're like, that's not me
Yes. Oh
at
my
all.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
For sure, for sure.
So Japan?
Japan, when I'm there, I'm probably there for about a month.
Oh, that's long.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while
wow,
for
okay,
sure.
okay.
So while I'm there, I'm going to go see Nas. I'm gonna definitely try all the food, experience it. I've never been to Japan, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And then after that, I've been to. Oh, I forgot Vietnam. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah, I went to Vietnam. We went
Yeah.
on a family's trip to Vietnam last.
With your family?
Yeah, with my wife's family.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, that was.
Damn,
really
you're already
cool.
doing family trips with her family?
Yes, 100%. That
That's
was like
awesome.
2023, actually.
Oh, wow, that's
yeah.
awesome.
For
Okay.
sure.
How was that? Do you feel like this is such a random question. Do you feel like you have to tone down yourself when you're around her family in terms of just being careful, not to make any mistakes?
Mistakes, not anymore.
Uh-huh.
Maybe in the beginning,
Yeah.
I felt a little on edge. I was always on the edge of my seat, right? But
Yeah.
like these days, like her little brother feels like my brother almost now. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, if not, yeah, because he like I come to him for certain aspects or advice. Sometimes he comes for me with advice, which is cool.
Yeah.
He's my Korean teacher because I don't want to speak Korean like a girl.
Yeah.
I wanna
Oh,
speak
you
Korean
need
like
to
a
do-
guy.
yeah, yeah.
So he's been like that guy for me. He's
Yeah.
really been teaching me the ins and outs on like what to say, what not to say, which has been cool. And you know, her brother's a sweetheart. He's such a nice guy, and we've grown really close over the years. So
Yeah, yeah.
him and his mom came in 2023. They came to visit us in Philly in our apartment, and
Okay.
that was really cool. They stayed for like a month in October.
Oh, that's quite long.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yes. Like I
Yeah.
got to show him like my in America we have a lot of street racing. So like when he was in America, like I was in my Tesla, like literally people would pull
Not
up
the
to me
look at the flex.
and they would try to
Tesla.
like
First of all, you
Yeah.
said that like hella chill. You should be proud of yourself for owning a
I
Tesla.
appreciate
You
that.
got a Tesla, guys.
Oh, I sold it now because
Oh.
I'm digital nomad.
Oh, you don't
so
need
I got
it.
rid of it.
I was gonna be like, oh, he doesn't. Okay,
I don't
you
even need it
You
anymore.
don't need.
I
Yeah,
sold
yeah, yeah.
like
That's a
we-
flex.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that's a flex for
appreciate
y'all.
that.
Yeah.
I literally like would see people pull up to me on a Roosevelt Boulevard. This is like if anyone knows Philly, Roosevelt Boulevard has cameras, but
And they're still racing.
and they're still racing. People do not care. So what I
That's
would
Philly
do is
for
like
you.
I would I would flex the 6-second takeoff to 0 to 60 and then slow down right below 40 right before the next camera on Roosevelt just to make
like,
sure I don't
you
get
guys
in
go.
trouble. Yes. So
don't
like
wanna go.
every time they would like immediately I would like take off way faster than everyone, but
yeah.
of course they would beat me in the long run. And I was
This is
like,
an
okay,
electric car.
you got a ticket now.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. So like
Yeah.
he was like astonished because in Korea the car culture is very different from Japan.
Completely different. Yeah.
Like we don't have any decibel limits, anything like that. So he was like astonished, like, oh my God, people in America are wild.
Yeah,
Why are you guys racing?
You know what? We're a little crazy.
We're a little crazy.
Especially Philly.
Especially
Philly.
Philly.
It's a little
Philly's
crazy.
next level with the driving. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, it's actually really bad.
Yeah, and that's where I learned my driving. So
Oh wow.
driving in
always
Korea,
say,
I get so annoyed to be honest.
yes.
Oh my God.
I always say if you learn how to drive in like Philly, New York, you can drive anywhere.
anywhere, literally
Like,
anywhere.
seriously.
Yeah, I've been driving for like what, 13 years now.
Oh wow.
I have no
beautiful.
problems.
100%. Like in
Hold on.
Busan, I see the driving. I'm like, oh, they kind of like Philly in Busan. Like people are aggressive in Busan.
They're
driving.
so aggressive.
Seriously. I'm
Yeah,
like, wow.
but Koreans are always like, oh, Busan is so aggressive, and then I'm like, yeah, Philly's worse.
Yeah, Philly's worse. Philly's definitely worse than
Philly's worse.
Busan, but
Yeah.
Busan's probably the worst in Korea.
In Korea, it's
maybe.
worse.
For
It's
sure.
definitely the worst because nobody
Yes.
cares.
Yeah,
They
I
just
feel like
do not care.
New York is like, and I'm sorry, Seoul is similar to New York in the sense of the endless traffic. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's like extensive amounts of traffic in Seoul, so you really can't get back. You know, you can't drive too
You
fast.
can. Taxi drivers, they can because they don't
They
care
can.
about their life
They
or your
don't.
life.
Oh my God.
But normal people, they're not going to do that.
Facts.
They won't do that.
100%.
Yeah, but Busan is something else.
Yes, for
Busan is something
sure.
else. Have you driven in Seoul?
No, but I have driven in Busan, just around like my wife's neighborhood.
You
and
started
stuff.
the worst part.
Yes, yes.
Started Busan, which is the worst for
100%,
driving.
100%.
You need to drive in Seoul. I feel like in Seoul you'll be very like aggravated.
Yeah,
Like-
probably because I would get irked on the traffic. I'm sure.
That and just the nonsensical driving. Nobody uses their blinkers in Seoul.
What?
Nobody freaking uses
I
their
didn't even
blinkers.
notice that. I'm gonna start paying attention to that one.
When I
That's
drive, I'm
crazy.
just like, why are you turning without using your blinker? I'm always
Right,
like,
right.
bro, why are you driving like that? Yeah, I've driven
Oh
in
my
Korea
gosh.
for a long time now, but it's aggravating.
Wow.
What were we talking about before we got into driving?
Places I've traveled to,
There we
places
go.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Like I've
So Vietnam,
definitely,
you said.
Yeah, we went to Vietnam. I'm going to go back to Southeast Asia
Mm-hmm.
probably in this upcoming spring.
Yeah.
I want to say, or no, the winter. Right, we want to go winter, yeah, like February, because I think that's when it's. We don't want to go during rainy season in Southeast Asia
no,
at
no,
all.
It's
so.
gonna be humid as hell
Exactly.
too. Yeah,
So
yeah.
probably like February, maybe January, March.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to Thailand, which is gonna be super fun.
Thailand is beautiful. Oh my god, I love Thailand. Yeah.
100%.
The
We want to
food,
go
oh my
to
God.
Phuket.
Phuket in Thailand.
Phuket, yeah, we want to go there and Bangkok. Both
You should
places.
try Krabi too. Krabi Island is
Krabi?
very nice.
Oh yeah, I'll
Yeah.
definitely keep that in mind. What's it called?
Krabi.
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 Oh wow,
It's
so
where I
like
went.
Krabby Patty. Okay.
Oh yeah, like Krabby
Island.
Patty.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice,
It was very Krabi was very nice. But yeah, just food for thought.
Oh yeah,
You
I'll
don't have
definitely
to,
check
but
that
yeah. Mm-hmm.
out. We'll keep that in mind. I want to know all the places, all the spots before I go there for sure. Yeah, is there any places you recommend in Seoul that you like to eat? What are your
I
good
wasn't
eats
gonna
in Seoul?
recommend in Seoul. I'm just hearing a lot of yaga yaga. I don't hear Kenya when you're talking. Where is the Kenya talk?
Oh,
When
I'm
is it
definitely going
coming?
to Africa for sure. I think like
Yeah.
because this year and half of next year we're very focused on like East
Asia,
Asia,
yeah.
and then we're going to focus on Africa, Europe. Africa and Europe is in the same like hemisphere,
Yeah.
so to speak. So
It'll be
we're
easier to
definitely
like
gonna-
move around from
exactly.
there. Yeah.
Like we wanted to be cost effective, and we figured like while we're in Korea, we'll bounce around all of East Asia.
Yeah.
And then once we transfer towards like Europe and digital nomad there, we'll definitely be bouncing
Bounce
around
around.
Africa. For me, you know me, I want to go to every country in Africa, all 52 if I can.
54.
4? Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry about
I'm
that.
very disappointed. I'm so disappointed. It's okay.
Oh my God. No, because South Sudan split.
Yeah, it's
and
a new
then,
country.
like,
I think
yeah.
people, like most people, don't even know Africa is a continent, so you're fine.
Yes.
At least you know that.
Yeah, 100%.
At least you know
100%.
that.
My dad's
People
going
are
to be like, Adisa.
he's gonna be so disappointed.
Yes, he will.
What? Do you not know it's 54 countries?
54 countries.
No,
Oh
but you
my
should
God.
definitely check out Kenya. Kenya
Yeah.
has a lot of digital nomads too.
Oh my God,
A
I
lot,
bet.
yeah.
I watched, so I've been seeing a lot of like digital nomads in Nairobi. And Nairobi is gorgeous. I mean, like
Nairobi's very nice.
It's so like it's insanely way more developed than people in America expect or know.
Yes.
Which is like there's so much misconceptions about Africa
Exactly.
to begin with.
Exactly.
But Kenya is one of those places where I definitely wanted to go to see the Maasai tribes and everyone there.
Go to Masai Mara, go
Hell
on a
yeah.
safari, like
100%.
go to the tea farms are really nice too.
Tea
like,
farms,
yeah,
okay.
because Kenya, I don't know why people don't they always talk about Kenyan coffee, but they don't talk about Kenyan tea.
Right.
Kenyan tea is really
She
good.
took the words right out. I was just about to get into the coffee.
Coffee,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Everybody's like Kenyan coffee, and I'm over here like our tea is good too. But yeah, definitely visit Kenya.
Yeah. Kenya is definitely the top of my list.
You
for
should.
sure,
Yeah. I'm trying to get everybody to go to Kenya. But overall, how has Korea been for you?
For me, Korea has been a huge learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like my actual biggest goal right now
Mm-hmm.
in Korea is to really learn learn the language, really get it down pack. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, I try to, study as much as I can around like my work schedule and just traveling and enjoying it. But I really want to get the language down pack because I feel like that could be my gateway into really communicating with people more, understanding Korean guys more.
Yeah.
Like, I found it to be a little frustrating in jujitsu class where like a lot of the younger Korean kids, they're always so interested in like wanting to talk to me and like ask me questions, but
Yeah.
I can't really
You
communicate with
can't
them
answer.
on that
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
But I felt like just being there and being around is like kind of a good representation. Of
Right.
Like, hey, like, black folks, we around here.
Yeah,
we
we are
out
here.
here.
Yeah.
We out here for sure.
Does your wife help you with your Korean?
Absolutely. She's my primary
the one
teacher.
they're like-
She's number one. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's my
Is
primary
it awkward
teacher.
for you guys to like speak in Korean together?
I can't speak Korean. Look, like if
If
I'm
you
being
guys
frank,
didn't hear her,
I'm
she said he
learning.
can't speak Korean at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know basic words. Like her 6-year-old cousins know more Korean than me.
Oh.
Look at it like that. Okay. But I am very
Yeah.
much learning. I want to, if you can give me some recommendations on some Netflix shows.
Oh, I have
Amazon
so
Prime,
many.
Please. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not a big romance guy.
I'm not either.
But-
Don't worry.
Oh,
You're not
not?
going to
Okay,
get that
good,
from me.
good, okay.
You're not gonna, I am also not a romance person.
Yes,
so yeah, I got
100%.
you. Yeah, my Korean is pretty decent. So I completely.
It's great. I've watched a few episodes of
Oh,
yours, and I'm
thank
like,
you.
oh my god, I want to
She's
get at her
trying.
level.
She's trying. Compliment me more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely recommend like how I learned because Korean is not easy, and I
Yeah.
completely understand when people are like it's hard because it is hard.
Yeah.
It took me a really long time to get to where I am, and it's a never-ending journey. You're never gonna stop learning Korean. It's just,
100%.
especially now that you're married to.
Hey,
like,
I'm
a
still learning
Korean woman,
English.
so.
So.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. You sometimes I don't know if you've watched some of my episodes. I struggle with English.
Word. Do you speak any other languages?
I speak four.
Whoa,
Yeah,
can you
I
name
speak
them?
four. I speak Kikuyu, which is my tribal language. Yeah,
I know
Kikuyu.
about that.
It's like the biggest tribe in Kenya.
Yes.
I know some other tribes are about to come for me for saying that.
Well, and this is again of African diversity. Like, Africa is so diverse. Every country got like 20,000
We have so
ethnic
many
groups.
tribes. Oh my
It's
god, we have
crazy.
so many. But I speak Kikuyu, I speak English, I speak some Korean, and I speak. I understand fully Swahili, but my speaking is like a bit. It needs
So
help.
dope.
Yeah, but those
Oh
are the
my
four.
gosh.
Yeah.
So you're a
She-
polyglot.
Yes,
Right?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Oh
And I
my
used to know
gosh.
Chinese and French, but because I do not speak those, I completely forgot. Yeah. I
okay.
used to be very into language, but
Very
the older
cool.
I get, the harder it is.
Yeah,
It's
of course,
not
of course.
easy.
I wish I learned when I
Yeah.
was like started when I was like 4 or 5 learning like.
I learned in Upper Darby. What were you doing?
Oh. So okay,
What
I
was you
took
doing?
Spanish in Upper Darby.
Yeah.
Actually, my strongest language outside of English is Spanish, for
Okay,
sure.
yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm like perfect in Spanish, but
Yeah.
I'm like semi-fluent, you could say. I could hold a conversation.
Okay,
You drop me in
okay.
Mexico, I can get out. That's
You'll
a
be like,
fact.
I'm here.
100%.
And apart from Spanish, anything else? Or-
So I'm trying to make an effort to learn Khoisan languages, specifically Nama Damara, which is my grandfather's language.
Okay.
They speak in cliques.
Oh, like so.
Yes, like to say hello, to say
Sosa.
"Oinquest."
How do you say sosa?
Osa.
Sosa. There we go.
Osa. Oh,
I
yeah.
can't click. Yeah.
It's actually a dying language, and I
I
really
know,
want
and I
to
wanna
learn
learn
it.
it too.
Like Khoisan people are one
Yeah.
of my grandfather's tribe, the Damara people,
Mm-hmm.
one of the oldest ethnic groups in the world, and I want to know the language. That I gotta keep that original mitochondrial DNA alive. Make
Yeah.
sure we
Girl.
learn the language, and hopefully I could teach it to my kids.
Yeah.
But there's a movement going on in South Africa where they're really teaching a lot of the younger kids Khoisan languages. It's called Nu,
haven't heard that one.
with a line and
Yeah.
U.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like called Nu. I guess
Yeah.
the line is the click
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah.
But it's just so cool to see.
So beautiful.
Yes, it's really beautiful and cool to see like them still teaching the kids and trying to like spread the language. There's like one old grandma. I saw the.
I think I've seen a video about
documentary.
that
Yes,
too. And
there's
she's
a
like
whole
the one
documentary.
teaching them.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's her daughter who's really relaying and like keeping everything alive. And
Yeah.
I totally commend them for that.
I
'cause
appreciate that.
I definitely want to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
At least I know there's multiple Khoisan languages. I want to learn as many of them as possible.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Aside of Korean, English, and Spanish, of course.
Like the ones that you can easily learn now.
Yes,
'Cause
yes.
Sosa.
Osa.
Sosa.
Oh yeah.
That's like you probably would have to move to South Africa to really learn it.
Oh
right?
yeah, like Trevor
Yeah.
Noah is really cool with that. He's always
Oh, yeah.
a very big advocate of
Yeah.
speaking Osa
Yeah.
and keeping his mother language.
Damn, I'm
alive
so
and all
jealous of that
stuff.
clicking, by the way.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wish.
100%. The clicks are
Osa.
pretty easy.
Can't do
It's
that
like the edge of the tongue, the middle.
The clicking
and
is
the
so
back.
easy. Does it look
You'll
easy to
get
me?
there.
I'm struggling over here. What are you
100%.
talking about?
And it's so cool because like
Yeah.
so I did like I said I did ancestry DNA and I learned that I'm Igbo.
Oh,
But my
okay.
dad speaks a lot of Yoruba. Like when I come in the house, he'll say Akara, Odara, which is good
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
good morning, stuff
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And like he would almost get mad at me if I don't say it back. But I've learned to respect it because again, like a lot of my dad's from Trinidad, so a lot of African Caribbean people have a similar background where they don't really know their lineage.
Right,
So it's
right.
important, for my dad to know, at least one Nigerian language,
Right.
even though we found out we're mainly Igbo Nigerian.
And he's speaking Yoruba.
He's speaking Yoruba, but
Yeah.
it's all good. I think it's important for us to keep our culture and to really spread it. Like
Very
a
important.
big question I get all the time is like how are you going to teach your kids like in regards to African
You have so
culture.
many cultures, yeah.
Yes, and even
Yeah.
just me alone, I have so much cultures. I even have, I'm like 14% English. I'm 14% German. I have other admixtures and stuff
Jeez,
that
yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't acknowledge the German because I know why I'm German. But
We can all guess why.
yeah, it's colonization, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to see, what's going to happen when I do have kids and stuff. But I always say, like, I don't think it'll be hard to really have my children be proud of who they are because they're going to travel. We're
Yeah.
going to get out of America,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely one thing I'm going to make sure of, just make sure they see the world, see different cultures, and to really experience the people because, people's all we got.
That's true.
Fact.
That's true. And because your children will be Korean American or
Yeah. There'll be
a lot.
There'll be a lot. There'll be
be a lot
Korean
of
American.
stuff.
There'll
Yeah.
also be Black American.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's going to be a lot
There's
of
a lot
mixture going on in
for
there.
sure.
Have you ever thought about where you would mainly want to raise your children?
Ooh, if I could have it my way, I would. If I could afford it, Hawaii
Switzerland? Oh,
or
I thought you were
California.
gonna say
No, Switzerland. That would be totally different.
Yeah.
Definitely Hawaii or
Hawaii.
California.
Yeah.
Because California has a lot of Black folks, but then you also have a lot of Koreans. One of the
Yes, that's
highest
true.
Korean populations is in LA,
Yeah.
or the LA area,
Yeah.
greater area, and Hawaii has like the largest Asian American
Yeah.
population in general in the United States. So I think those two places is where like my wife and I really would like to raise our kids. But I want them to be raised. This is my little like experiment where I
Right.
want them to start off
Not
school
experiment.
in Korea. Because
Oh.
I think that there's extremes within the Korean education system and the American education
That's
system.
true.
I think that they can both learn from each other and
That's true.
balance each other out.
Yeah.
I say that to my wife all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that like in Korea, it can be pretty, I hear other Koreans explain how they feel like it's too hard for kids. They're very, like, too much pressure. I was listening to a podcast with Jay Park where he was talking about how, Koreans are very big on education.
Very.
You're going to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can, I can relate to that with, Caribbean parents are very much similar. They're very big on education.
Yeah.
And I think in America, we're too lenient.
Very.
I mean,
Very.
when I was going Upper Darby, when we was
Yeah.
in high school,
Yeah.
I would go in the bathroom and kids are in there smoking X and Y and cigarettes, and I'm like, y'all in the
Yeah.
bathroom smoking cigarettes?
That's a Badarby for you.
So
Yeah.
I was kind of like I saw firsthand by growing up in the U.S. public education system how it has certain pitfalls, and I think that a certain level of discipline would do America very well.
That's true.
So I kind of feel like by getting my kids into school in Korea from a young age, they might have certain, probably come to America during the summers or
Right.
during their
And
off season,
experience
experience the culture.
Yeah.
But I think like from maybe pre-K to middle school-ish, I want them in Korea. I
Middle
want
school
them
too?
not all of from in middle school to high school. At some point, I'll bring them to America.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah.
I think that having them in the Korean education system at a young
help,
age will
yeah.
teach them a lot of discipline. I
lot
want
of
them to
discipline.
be straight as a pin.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when they come to America, they'll be a little further ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe they can get into a better school, middle school, so they can get into whatever sport they like, whatever they have interest in.
Yeah.
Definitely teaching my kids piano. My wife is actually a pianist.
Oh.
She likes to put herself.
She
but
said, "I
she's
used to."
the
Stop
best.
saying
She's
that.
saying she used to. She's one of the best. She's
Oh,
really
wow,
good.
okay.
She's really good at piano.
Yeah.
And she
She's blushing.
she amazes me every time she
Yeah.
plays piano. Melts my heart. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so good at this.
Bijou is over there rolling her eyes.
Yeah.
She's like,
And
Yeah.
then I definitely want them doing jujitsu and gymnastics.
course,
I
yeah.
can do flips and backflips.
the
a lot
next
of different
Simone
types of
Biles
stuff.
might be made. You
Yes,
never know.
hopefully. I
You
love
never
Simone
know.
Biles.
Yeah, it could
Shout
be a
out to
Simone
her.
Biles child going on
Hell
here.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I want my kids to be very active and, like rather it's music, as well as with, sports
Sport
and martial arts,
And
especially.
academics, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what's a great country to raise your child with all those things?
What?
Kenya.
Hey! Hey, man, you guys have the best long distance runners, and Kenyans are insane athletes. Like, I love Kenya for that.
Yeah,
Really good.
Kenya, the education system is really good too.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yes,
very.
it
I
is.
remember when I ended up going to America when I was 9.
Yeah.
For a good year, I didn't take any of the tests because I knew everything. So I was just sitting
Whoa.
there, just being like, I already know this.
And that's funny because I
Yeah.
hear that a lot from Nigerians too.
Because the education system in America,
It's so bad.
before university is a different demon, though. I do
Yes,
have to say,
university is a demon
Yes,
in America.
but
and I
before
love that
univers-
about America, but
because we have the best universities in the
Universities,
world for
exactly.
sure.
That's a fact.
But before that, it's a joke.
yeah, 100%.
It's a joke for sure.
There's almost a
Yeah.
conspiracy a lot of Americans commonly say, where they're like, "Oh, they want us stupid, so they could manipulate us and make us go in debt and blah blah
Could
blah."
be. I mean,
it could be.
the debt is a big thing in America.
America's
so.
the land of conspiracies. You will hear 1,000 conspiracies before you leave America about America.
Facts.
That's a fact.
But yeah, you never know.
definitely. I'll
Yeah.
definitely see what's up. Hopefully, raise
When
them
you go to Kenya,
in Kenya a little while. Have them speaking some Swahili.
there's also a very big Korean population going on now.
In Korea,
Yeah,
in Kenya.
yeah, in
Oh,
Kenya.
wow.
There's like quite a
Wow.
lot. There's some Korean markets going on, restaurants.
Very
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Very
Koreans are everywhere, to be honest.
Yes, they
They're like
really are.
Nigerians. They stay somewhere. Nigerians are
100%.
also everywhere in the
Yes.
world.
There's
but-
a statistic in America that like in 200 years from now there'll be possibly if the birth rates stay the same, there'll be more Koreans in America than in Korea, which is nuts.
Probably.
It's like America's birth rate is really out of control. Right
Yeah,
now.
and
People
then
are
in
having
Korea, it's
too
like,
many kids, and then in Korea
nobody's
they're not
having
enough kids. So it's like,
you guys should help the population.
yeah, that's what we're planning.
Come
to
on,
do.
get that money, guys. That's $75K.
Yo, I was just talking about that earlier. It's hilarious.
Y'all gotta get that money.
Yes,
But you gotta
definitely.
get it and leave because it's not doing you any good in Korea. It's too expensive to live here.
Oh my god,
It's so expensive to live in Korea. That's why
Interesting.
nobody's having kids. Because
I
like,
see.
what's
And-
$75K doing?
On the flip side, there's a lot of Americans who are very, like you said, millennials. The that generation, there's a lot of Americans who are discouraged from having kids because the cost of living is going through the roof. And it's like, in America, we made a huge mistake detethering the U.S. dollar from gold-backed currency. Like
wow,
there was
okay.
a time in America, I
Yeah.
believe it was Lyndon B. Johnson. Again, Lyndon B. Johnson. I got to read my history book.
One of those.
Yes, one of those presidents. They took us off the gold standard and they put us on the petrodollar. But now we're also off the petrodollar, which means we don't back it with oil either.
So what the hell are we back in?
Nothing. Well, our guns and our
Wow.
government. Yeah. And
freedom.
The freedom, yeah. And it's like when there was a time where you can go to the bank, you can trade $1 for 1.32 of a ounce of gold.
Okay.
And now that doesn't exist anymore in America. And I'm really hoping that I don't care which president's in there. Personally, it don't matter left or right.
Yeah.
I just want them to focus on getting the American economy back.
Yeah.
And a part of that could be really putting us back on the gold standard or backing it with something. I don't care what it is. Sunflowers.
Potatoes.
Potatoes,
Idaho potatoes,
corn.
maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Child.
we really need to get back to that, and that's why I feel like in Africa as well, for them to not get like quote unquote robbed from the West, or
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying the Chinese are coming. There's a huge Dr. Umar go crazy about talking about the Chinese coming
Kenya?
into Africa.
Kenya,
Primarily
bro?
Kenya.
They're
Primarily,
teaching Mandarin in school.
Yeah. Like
And I'm just
South
like,
Africa too, and
yeah.
Congo, they're coming in, and I'm like,
It's crazy.
are y'all teaching Yoruba?
They're not. I was
Xhosa
just about to
and-
say that. They're
Come
not
on.
teaching our tribal languages. They're
Yeah.
teaching Chinese. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's a no-no.
what?
You know?
It's so confusing.
And there needs to be reciprocation laws within China, because I do think
Oh.
there can be a lot of good done
not
with
gonna
trade
happen.
with
I
the
don't know
Chinese.
about that.
Yeah, I think
I
there
don't
could be a
know.
lot of good done with trading
Yeah.
with the West and the
And
Chinese,
yeah.
but Africa needs to stop letting them manipulate them. For example, the languages being taught in school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, like reciprocation laws. For example, I believe if you're a man in China, if you're a Chinese man,
Mm-hmm.
but you have a African wife, then I believe she could get citizenship. If I'm not mistaken. But
Uh-huh.
if it's a African man who has a Chinese,
Chinese
wife,
wife.
he cannot get citizenship,
Uh-huh.
and neither can the children.
Yeah, the
And
children
that-
part I've definitely heard of.
Yeah,
Like, your
so
kids can't be citizens.
Why don't we reciprocate it? Like, if they can't, we can't go do business to the
There,
full extent
yeah.
there, then
Why should they-
reciprocate the laws here, which
Yeah.
is only fair.
Yeah.
And then if they decide to change the laws, then we
Then
change,
change the
them too.
laws.
Yeah.
The
It's just
corruption in Africa is never going to
corruption
let
in
that.
Africa.
Yeah.
You go to Africa with 50 billion, you get that bag, you go up to like the biggest leaders.
They say, yes,
you'll
sir,
get your
yes,
agenda.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
you'll get your agenda pushed, and that has to stop.
Yeah,
There
it's
has
just-
to be like a.
That's why we're
a
so
line.
behind. Because
Yes.
corruption is like, you're saying yes to money, but not your people.
Not your people. Yeah.
Your people should come first.
That's why I always like the people like the Rizza Islams,
Mm-hmm.
the Chaka bars. There's just so much different. Even Dr. Umar, I don't agree with so much of Dr. Umar said,
Some
but
of
then
the
there's some of
things,
what he
I'd
be
be
saying,
like,
I'd be like, on point.
that makes sense.
And there's so much people like that.
Yeah.
Whether it's Candace Owens or
Some of the things
sometimes
she
say,
says.
I'd be like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
don't like you. And then
Yeah, I don't like her
sometimes-
either, but
Sometimes she'll say something like, "Oh, she has a point,"
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of like podcasting and radio, rather
Yeah.
it be TV these days. The media isn't centralized
Yeah.
as it used to be, and I
Yeah.
think that's important because that puts power with the people,
Right,
you know.
right.
And that's why Joe Rogan's so big. I love Joe Rogan.
He's
I watch him so much
huge. Yeah,
because
he's huge.
he's very. He always tends to stay pretty neutral, no matter how much the media tries to pin him as super right wing racist dude. But I like that he's very open about his opinions and he keeps it real. And if someone likes you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. But
it is what it is.
it is what it is,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I think it's important for us to be able to speak openly because that's transparency. You know, if we want humanity to really be united and come together,
Yep.
we need transparency.
Exactly.
African leaders.
Please help your people. Stop
100%.
looking for money.
Yes.
I'm looking over at your dogs and they're asleep, so we might want to start wrapping this
Oh,
up.
yes, for
Is
sure.
there anything that you wanted to say that you didn't get to say? About Korea, about your life, your family, your wife, whatever.
I will say my dad's side of the family is very much more. They're very much more open now. And they're
Oh,
much
now
more-
that you-
yeah,
okay.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we've been married for too long. At
Yes,
this place.
been a long
yeah,
time. Yeah.
for sure. And you know, they're getting I think much more open to her. And my dad's side in itself is very mixed too. I have family that's half white. Oh, my dad's side, Trinidadian white in
Yeah.
California. I have
Yeah.
family in Canada, really everywhere. So it's kind of one of those things where I feel like time heals all.
It does.
And, you know, over time, I think things will come together the way it should.
And it seems like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
For
happy
sure.
for you guys. I can't wait to see y'all children.
Thanks, Paris.
Yeah. Like, I was going to ask about the kids, but you know how, like, you're not supposed to, like, I feel like it's invading your space. Because what if she was like, I don't have kids? Then I would be like, oh.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
get
So
that,
when
I
you
get
said
that.
it, I was like, okay, I could ask about the kids.
We want kids,
Yeah.
but we want to be able to take care of them. We want to give our kids what we didn't have.
Yes.
And I think that's a big part of why millennials maybe aren't having as much. 'Cause
Exactly.
Everyone feels the same. The economy is getting harder. Stock market just crashed Monday.
Yes.
You know, people losing money out here,
Yeah.
and it's hard to really see. I can't see myself just having a kid irresponsibly. I want to do it responsibly.
Yes.
That's really what it's about.
I would never want to raise a child and I can't afford that child.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary.
Like, it would break my
Yeah.
heart if I'm like, I can't get you those shoes.
Like, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I should not say McDonald's. McDonald's.
Yeah.
But you're like, we have food at home. And you're like, damn, I'm sorry.
Yes,
We can't afford
100%,
McDonald's right now.
100%.
I'm not eating McDonald's right now, though.
Yeah,
Just saying. The
I
whole
don't
Israel
either.
thing, people are very, like, hot on it.
Yes, McDonald's
Very
is a
hot
funny
on it.
topic.
Yeah.
I try to avoid
wanna say
American
something?
foods. Oh, yeah.
Oh, have you tried it?
Yes, I tried Korean McDonald's, and
Yeah.
it's healthier, which is crazy.
Okay.
I think Korea has same with the UK and
Yeah.
a lot of Europe. They have certain regulations and laws of what you can and cannot put in your foods. In America, it's almost disingenuous for me to say that the American healthcare system and food, the FDA, is trying to make Americans healthier. It would be disingenuous for me to say that
they're not
because
doing that.
they're not. The
They're
amount
not.
of different toxins in our food is crazy. Dunkin' D's.
Yeah. Oh, the Dunkin' Donuts taste completely different in Korea.
And you feel the taste is different. Like
Completely
I ate a
different.
burger, the bulgogi burger.
Yeah.
Totally different taste. Like even the McDonald's fries in
Yeah.
Korea, they have a different taste,
Yeah.
and it's that shouldn't be that way. Like it's almost
Yeah.
insanity. Like I go to Costco's in Korea, which is really funny.
Yeah.
And I go there and I see some of the same products, but it's still Kirkland, but it's not the same taste.
It's not the same.
And I'm
They
like,
change
what
a
is
lot
going
of things.
on?
Yeah. Even there are a lot of American products, especially food, that is illegal in Korea.
Yes.
I think one
Thank God.
big one is pork.
Interesting.
American pork is illegal in a lot of countries, actually. Like they do
Whoa.
not allow it.
Because the samgyeopsal in Korea is bomb.
It's
They got
good.
the black pig, which I
Yes,
like from
yes.
Jeju.
Which-
Korean pig.
Korean,
yes.
but you would never see an American pig. That's such a
100%.
random thing to say. You would never see like American
100%.
pork.
Like even the
in Korea.
sogogi, the beef in Korea,
Certain
definitely
thing-
tastes
yeah.
healthier.
Does.
That's why I saw like I had a misconception about people always wanting to get American beef here, but I realized it's because it's cheaper.
It's just cheap. That's it.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh my god.
Korean beef is way better. It's just expensive.
Pork.
Even in America, I don't eat
Yeah,
pork
I don't eat
anymore.
pork. I mean, my dad always made us make sure, like, because my parents grew me up vegan,
Yeah.
like
Oh, wow.
vegetarian.
Okay.
Not that I was.
You
When
were
I
in
went
a
to
Padar
school,
with them burgers.
yes, I was chowing down on all the meat I could. But
Yeah.
I would go to I had a really like most of my friends growing up were like Puerto Rican, Dominicans, and I would go over there and eat that pork over there for sure. But my dad always tried to make sure we stay away from like especially pork because it was
Yeah,
it's
pork
just
is
so bad for you.
It's not good for
Yes,
you. Yeah, I'm trying to like completely actually just cut it out from my diet. Even
Diet.
Korean pork, I'm trying to
Yes,
like completely.
yes.
Yeah, because it's not.
It's not good overall.
Yeah,
Generally, it's not.
Generally,
good for
pork
you.
is not good for you.
The Muslims
Yeah.
got it right.
Yeah. See, I'm like, no, I'm not Muslim. I'm just
Oh,
health
yeah.
conscious.
The Muslims got a point, man.
Yeah,
Stay away from that
when they say
swine.
it's dirty meat, it is
It
dirty
is.
meat.
It truly
It's
is.
not the cleanest meat out there.
Yes, yes.
Is there
Plus,
anything?
I love beef so much anyway.
Oh my god, me and
Beef
beef.
is- me
If
and
beef
beef
wasn't
is
so expensive in Korea, I would
Yes.
eat it every
And I
day.
know Kenyan beef is
Oh, Jesus!
fire. I heard about that for sure.
It's so good, and it's like not even expensive.
Yes.
Like
yes.
it's so aggravating coming from a country where beef is like the normal meat to
Right.
eat, and then coming to Korea where beef is like a luxury.
Yeah, because in Kenya, you guys have an over excess of it. So much of it out there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maasai people.
They have
Oh,
like
yes.
thousands of cows following
Yes,
them. I
they
love
gave
that.
us a lot of tall height. That's why I was like, I was watching NBA play South Sudan.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of
They
Maasai
were
in
tall.
Sudan. They are so
Kids
tall.
are tall.
So
Yeah, they're
Black
big.
Americans, we are in debt to the African continent. And the good genetics, thank you.
You guys, we all need to take a trip down to
Dang right.
Kenya.
Kenya, we out.
Yeah, definitely Kenya.
Definitely next on the list.
Is there anything else that you wanted to say before we close out?
No, that's about
You
it,
good?
man. I'm good.
Okay. I feel like I'm getting greedy. I also want your wife on the podcast.
Ooh,
Someday you should.
Maybe you could come on.
Someday you should come.
Yeah.
I don't
Would you
know,
be
'cause
willing to?
it's a different conversation.
Hell
Like
yeah.
your story.
That's my
life and her-
perspective.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
just
we'll
her-
make it a
yeah.
part 1 and 2. We'll do it half and half.
Oh no. Yeah. Yes. See, if you ever want to come back, you are completely welcome. Because I know the comments are gonna say, "Can she also be on the show?"
Yeah,
So yeah, you
for
should definitely
sure.
come back. I don't know. Think about it. But are you okay with us closing the show now?
Yeah, we could.
Okay, great.
100%.
Anyways, guys, that was it for another episode of Korea Unfiltered. This was one of our longer episodes, but I'm not mad. The conversation was great. We could have kept going, but the puppies
Oh
are
my
asleep.
gosh, it's 1:22. I didn't even see that.
I knew you didn't see it.
Whoa.
I kept seeing your wife checking the phone though, so I'm like, oh, maybe we should stop. But anyway, thank you so much, Adisa, for coming.
Thank you, Paris.
And for bringing your beautiful family
Yes.
to the studio. I'm really hoping she will be the next person to sit here someday.
Yes,
Like, I really want her to sit here someday. But anyways, guys, that was it for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Also, if you're a podcast listener, Minju is like... Also, if you're a podcast listener, make sure you give us 5 stars so we can get up in the algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, guys.
See you guys. Annyeong.